Which one is better, to become a real estate agent or to become a mortgage broker or associate? So, which option is the better one to go to? Personally, have done both. And in terms of which industry is better or which role is better, my question back to you would be, what do you like more? Are you an outgoing person? Do you like looking at houses? Do you like showing houses? Do you like chatting with people? Or are you better behind the scenes? So, do you enjoy doing paperwork? Do you like doing that sort of stuff? So, that's one of the first things that I would ask the person. Where does your passion lie? What are you excited about? At first, I thought I would like to be in the mortgage industry because I'm good with numbers. I don't mind the numbers. I enjoy, I'm kind of okay with the paperwork, but I can look at spreadsheets and things like that. So I thought maybe that would be a better fit because another reason I was thinking also was with the family because I wanted to be around and I thought, okay, it would be easier to be a mortgage associate because then I am working on the computer most of the time as opposed to going out in the field and that type of deal. But the problem is that I didn't enjoy the paperwork very much. So I am more of a people person. I consider myself an introvert, but I'm more of a people person. So I like talking to people. I like understanding people's needs, what they're looking for, helping them find the right home. So that to me is more interesting. I'm more passionate about looking at houses, just going and looking at places, just brings me happiness. So my personality is more suited. There's more of a social aspect to it rather than sitting behind the computer and doing paperwork all the time. So that was one thing that I found was difficult. I thought I would like that part, but I actually didn't enjoy it as much from being a mortgage associate point of view. Another thing is getting paperwork. So when somebody comes and applies for a mortgage, I found that getting paperwork out of people was quite difficult. So you have to really stay on them. You have to sometimes chase them down. For providing their statements and providing their, your income statement, bank statements, and other things that are required for the mortgage application. Whereas when we are looking at properties or when you're requesting those statements from people, I find there's a bit of a resistance that comes up for most people looking for those things or providing them, and so there's a bit of a resistance that comes up for most people. Whereas when you are showing people properties, a lot of times people are happy. They are excited about buying the property. They're happy about looking at property. So that feeling is a bit different between the two. So, are you okay handling that feeling where people are not too excited about having to come up with paperwork to give to you, and you're okay with that, versus where you have to go out and show the properties? So, in the beginning, I thought going out and showing properties when it's cold outside, there's snow and freezing, I thought I would find that difficult. And of course, it's not my favorite thing to do. However, I do like looking at houses. So once I get there and you get past the snow and the ice, then it becomes more fun. Whereas, even though I'm sitting at home and I'm looking for this paperwork, I am not the best in dealing with the paperwork and dealing with trying to pull the paperwork out, work out of people. So that's why I found that I was more or better suited to being a real estate agent as opposed to being a mortgage broker. Pros and cons. So for the mortgage, the pros are basically you are working from home. So you're sitting behind the computer, you're working on your items. So that makes it easier. So, like, it's your timeline, you're not working on the client's timeline. So, that's a positive for being a mortgage broker. You can control your schedule a little bit better. You don't have to go out. You're not driving a lot, and especially in the weather, that's not the best. You're working with numbers and spreadsheets, right? So that makes things easier. Cons are you are competing with the banks, right? So a lot of people who have good credit and they are in a good income position will go directly to the banks a lot of times. And that makes it easier for the banks to deal with everybody. But when it comes to us as mortgage associates, you tend to get more difficult files. And this is where trying to get the paperwork and everything else becomes a little bit more challenging. So you have to be okay with that, that you do have competition regardless, like doesn't matter which industry it is, there is competition. On the real estate side, you also, when you help someone find a property, you're helping them close on a property, it is all positive. They're happy, everybody's excited about moving into a new place. But that's not the case when you're working with the mortgage clients all the time, because they may not qualify for the amount they're looking for, or they want to buy a nicer property than what they actually qualify for. There's a bit of the negative feelings that come into play as well. So those are some of the things to keep in mind on the real estate side. The positive thing is there is a little bit more money in terms of commissions that you get paid. The real estate side has slightly more commissions than the mortgage side. But having said that, you can make really good money on the mortgage side as well. So it's not like you can't. It's just the commissions tend to be a little bit higher on the real estate side. Secondly, if you have an outgoing personality, if you like working with clients and you like, interacting socially with people, then the real estate side may be a better fit. If you're excited about properties, I love real estate. I love everything about real estate. So if you are excited about real estate, you enjoy that side of it. You get that sense of accomplishment by seeing somebody move into a new home, or their first home or investment property. So those are positives for working as a real estate agent. So I hope that answers that question. But in terms of the exams, the first exam is equal in both areas. In the second one, practice and mortgage brokerage, there's more calculations and so forth. So you need to be able to do those. So it's slightly more difficult than the residential. So the residential exam is difficult compared to the fundamentals, but I would say practice and mortgage brokerage may be slightly more challenging. So those are the different pros and cons when it comes to picking one of the options.